Hi again, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I talk about some of the programs and applications that I develop, and I really hope to get feedback from you, the listener, the viewer, the user. So please feel free to try these products and tell me what you think. Today we're going to talk about the ShopBirdy.ai Design Studio, which is a brand new, very feature-rich way to create almost an unlimited amount of possibilities. So if you're a creator, if you're a marketer, if you are in advertising, if you sell things on e-commerce, these days we pretty much do all of that on social media. And one of the most important things to capture people's attention on social media is to have really strong visuals. And ShopBirdy AI essentially gives you Photoshop level capabilities without you having to be an expert. Let's get into some of the things that you can do. So when you come to ShopBirdy.ai, you'll notice that there's actually two navigation tabs right at the top. You'll see the Search tab and you'll see the Design tab. Go ahead and click the Design tab, and that will bring you into the landing page for the ShopBirdy AI Designer. It's a complete creative studio powered by some of the best AI out there. And what separates this from what you can do on ChatGPT is that while it still uses the same underlying technology that ChatGPT does, we have really enhanced the capabilities so that you can do much, much more in very quick time. Some of my favorite ways of using this tool is to create things like mascots. I find it does a really good job of that. I also like using it to create photos for e-commerce stores. So if I have a product catalog of different products and then I want to combine them in a scene, these tools allow you to do that. But one of the biggest challenges that a lot of people online have is they don't have enough images or photos for their products. And we know that if you have a really strong image, you're going to generate more clicks, more views, and that can translate to sales. So you can take your existing product catalog, let's just say you have a very simple picture of a product, and you want to multiply that. You want to have 100 versions of that same product in different backgrounds and in like different scenes. This is the tool for you. So you can take your existing gallery and you can dramatically enhance it. So I like doing mascots. Other things you can do with it is floor plans. You can create infographics. You can create really realistic images. You can also create like sketch styles. And all of these are different styles that you can tune with your model prompt. And I'll show you how this tool does that. Let's jump into an example here. So we'll click this button. And the first thing it'll ask you to do is to describe your scene. If you don't know what a scene means, it's imagine that you're taking a picture of something and you want to know what is in the background or where should that item be placed. So let's say you wanted to have a waterfall in the background, or you were going to have it inside of a cafe, for example. You just describe your scene using this custom scene generator. So let's just say that we're going to do a natural outdoor setting. And just using this simple prompt, our platform is going to build a very sophisticated scene prompt. So it's going to take your idea and expand upon it and provide a lot of rich detail that then we pass to the model. So the model has done that. So you can see here it now has created this full scene. And this is really important because let's say you generate something and you really like it and you want to be able to generate more just like that, or you want to swap out a different product but keep the same background, keep everything in place. That's what this tool will allow you to do. So it allows you to have some consistency when you are generating your images. I really suggest that you use a product upload feature that we provide so that you can place your product in the scene. If you don't have an image that you want to use, it's fine. You can actually prompt the system to actually create the product and the background. So you can have both the product and the background. So in this case, since we're doing a natural outdoor scene, I'm going to say a skincare product. In a bottle and a cream and a skincare cream. Unbranded. So we'll just keep it like, essentially a very basic design. Okay, so that's now the prompt. Since I don't have an image of that product yet, then I'll just use the system, ShopBirdy, to generate both the image of the product and the background. And this is what the layout looks like. We actually have over 100 different templates for you to choose from for your backgrounds. So if you really have no idea and you don't want a prompt, you can choose one of these backgrounds. But in this case, using the prompt builder, I can create a custom prompt, custom background, custom layout on the fly. So now that's ready to go, and I will start that generation process. This is going to take a couple of minutes, sometimes 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and there's other things that we can do in the meantime. So let me share with you some of the other things we can do. So this is an example of creating a PowerPoint slide. So you can see here I've actually generated all the slides, all the text for a full business sales presentation. So this saves you a ton of time. But let's start for a minute from the very beginning. I will come back to the Designs Creative Studio, and here I'll click the button here, Presentation Slides. This uses a lot of the same back-end tools that we are using for our product and backgrounds creator, but this is really focused on a business presentation. So if you're on a sales team, or you're like an account executive, or you do like sales development, and you want to create a very cool sales presentation when you go meet your clients, this is a great tool that allows you to do that. It works great if you have an idea for a business. If you don't, you can practice with the tool by using some of these examples here. But let's say, for example, that my business is an AI platform for healthcare, for hospitals, doctors, and so forth. And this is my business overview. What the ShopBirdy will do is it will actually take your existing prompt, it will do the full research about that business. It'll then create 10 slides, which each slide is focused on a different aspect of your presentation. So it's going to be like your business idea, the problem you're solving, what's your target market, what's the solution, what's the ROI. So all of the typical questions or topics that will come up during a sales presentation. So here it's actually done that. So in like just a matter of less than a minute, it actually created a very well thought out business pitch or sales pitch. So it came up with an idea for the AI, which is called Careflow, and it tells you all about this business. And it goes through the title and the challenge and the solution and so forth. And once you like the content and you think that it fits what you're trying to achieve, you can then proceed with generating the slides. And you'll wait a few moments, but what will happen is the slide will the ShopBirdy will generate or design an image that perfectly matches the content on each of your slides. So it'll look really, really cool. Let's pop back over to this, and as you can see, the generation was successful. I prompted it with a skincare product in a bottle and a skincare cream unbranded. Right? It's a very simple prompt. I could be much more descriptive, but you can see that in just a matter of moments, I now have really cool marketing materials or content I can use on my online store if I'm selling the products like this. So that's awesome. And the nice thing about this tool and how it's different from ChatGPT is you could probably get ChatGPT to produce the same output. But again, to describe the scene, to generate all of the scaffolding, and to make it look really nice and consistent takes a bunch of work. And it's much more than just writing a few words in the prompt. We are significantly enhancing that. So let me just check to see if everything is fine. Yes, okay, so I didn't generate the slides. We'll hold off on that, but you'll have noticed that I previously previewed that just a few moments ago. Now, this is a really exciting tool. If you're a developer, right, you probably spend all your time in code, and you're thinking to yourself, I'm not a great designer. I like to do code. I'm much more technical in that sense. Well, the nice thing about it is that with ShopBirdy, we now provide an MCP server. MCP server means that when you're programming, you can add our tool into your developer environment. Let's say it's Cursor, let's say it's Windsurf, let's say it's Visual Studio. You can add this MCP server and we'll give you access to a whole bunch of the same tools that the ShopBirdy website has. So you'll be able to create logos and create images and extract products from the background and so forth. So very powerful, and it really helps because a lot of times developers have to use placeholders, or they use stock images, or they need to like purchase a license for an image that they like, which takes time, and you want to design something, you want to build something that looks really good. So having very high quality visuals will really help your product resonate with users. So let me show you how this works. So I'm going to first talk to this AI agent that's in my developer environment. And I'm going to ask it, does it have access to the tools that I shared with it since it's connected to the MCP server? And it says it does. So what this means is that you can choose your favorite agent, whether it's Claude or GPT or Gemini, and you can combine the tremendous capabilities of these advanced models with the powerful image and design tools that ShopBirdy provides. So it has a comprehensive knowledge of all of the tools, and we can add lots more tools as we go, but this already has more than a dozen different tools that you can use. So let's say that I have a mascot image that I want ShopBirdy to place into a scene. So I'm going to ask it to use the tools to upload this image and place this photo of the ShopBirdy mascot into a scene, and I just tell it where that file is located on my hard drive or in my directory. I'll pass that through, and now the agent mode will essentially take over. It understands my prompt. It reasons about all the different tools that it has, and it tries to figure out, based on what I asked, what should it do next. And it does this fairly well. I actually tested this a bunch of times, and I've been very impressed with the results. So here it's doing that. It actually uploads the image of the mascot, and let's see if I can find it. I'll show you what it looks like. Just a moment. It looks like it's at Product Design ShopBirdy Mascot. ShopBirdy Mascot. Maybe it's one of these. It's this one. Okay, so this is, again, it was created by ShopBirdy, so it's kind of meta that it created an image of itself. But I like this because with this type of mascot design, it looks like a cartoon with like 3D effects, and this has a great shape and pretty simple design elements. So that means that it should translate really well when you add other elements to a scene, or you want to place this item into different backgrounds. So essentially what I've done is I've instructed the agent to grab this image from my hard drive and go ahead and upload that to the AI model powered by ShopBirdy, and then use the different scene tools that we demonstrated here to basically create an image just like this, but without having to use this tool. So if you're a developer and you don't want to have to jump over to different tools, you can stay right into your developer workflow and just bring ShopBirdy in, ShopBirdy Design Studio into your integrated developer environment. And this will allow you to actually create images on the fly. And you can create simple images. You can create app icons if you're going to create an app for the App Store. You can create like product screenshots if you're also creating like screenshots for your App Store listing. You can create like Facebook or YouTube thumbnails or Instagram posts. There's a whole bunch of different social media focused ways to use these tools, as well as in the e-commerce context, and increasingly in other areas like fashion and beauty and many more. So that will take a few minutes because it is essentially running the same sort of tools that you see here, but in the background. And while that's running, I'll just show you some other examples of a similar type of prompt that I did earlier. I took a customer, they're in the sort of, I would say, beauty or cosmetics industry, and I took their basic product image and I placed it in a lot of these really fun scenes. And I think that these fun scenes can resonate more with customers. So if you're talking about an ROI on creating images, I think you can measure that based on sales and click-through rates. And the great thing about AI is that you can personalize those images that you show to each customer based on a variety of different parameters. And with this, you can basically do A/B testing at scale at almost no cost. So the incredible thing about this new generation of AI technologies is that it's allowing companies to have the same power that Facebook and Meta and Google and Amazon and eBay and all of these mega cap companies. You can use the same kind of techniques and algorithms are now available to everyday people, right? You can be a solopreneur, you can be a content creator, and you can really elevate your game, take it to the next level. So I think that these visual generation models are really powerful. And the great thing about it is that we can imagine it's only going to get better. So these image generation models, like for example, we're using OpenAI, they are releasing new features all the time. And because we're plugged into the model, you can get access to that. So by becoming a user of ShopBirdy, as the models get better, your product experience with ShopBirdy also gets better. So that's really awesome. Let's check in. So it looks like the job is done. It created actually 2 different versions. So looks like they just finished generating, and here is what they look like. I think this is great. I think this is fantastic. You get pretty good consistency with the initial reference image, the ShopBirdy mascot, and then you can place it into a variety of realistic scenes. It doesn't have to be realistic, but that's what the prompts were. And we provide a bunch of templates of different scenes so that it looks really good. And the model tries to think about which of the scene templates or backgrounds would work best for this product image, or in this case, this mascot. So that's pretty awesome. I think this is really cool. Now, how far can this go? Well, you could imagine if you're a brand and you sell, beverages, or you sell food, or you sell snacks, or you sell cosmetics, you sell cleaning supplies. Your product is really important that people associate your brand visuals with the part of their lives in which they'll most likely encounter your product or will think about your product or solution. So companies like Unilever and Procter & Gamble do this really well, right? They basically sell solutions to life's many challenges. So if you have a stain in your clothes or you need to clean your floors, right, they have solutions for you, right? So to the extent that you can create a visual with your product and how it would be used or how people will think about your product, that I think will help resonate with people. And all of this is, this is sort of advanced brand management, and people, have degrees in this. But this type of knowledge is now becoming available to anyone with AI and also with just generally information sharing on the internet. So, the entrepreneurs starting today, or the businesses that embrace these tools today, can have a massive, they can get a massive leap start or head start amongst the competition because they're moving quicker, they're moving fast, they're adopting these technologies, and the technologies are changing with incredible speed and amazing capabilities. So that is just a quick example of how we could use the MCP server within your own dev environment. So now when you create your design layouts, instead of your code having lots of placeholders, you can just have your agent connect to the ShopBirdy MCP and generate all those images for you on the fly. It can generate multiple images in batches, it can create variations so that you can pick which one that you like best. All right, we'll do one more quick demo. This one I haven't quite perfected, but I just want to double check because I believe OpenAI just created a new feature which I think would work really well for fashion and beauty. So if you go to the design tab on ShopBirdy.ai and you enter the ShopBirdy.ai Designer Creative Studio, and then you come down here and you click Beauty and Fashion, it will automatically upload an image of a model. And this person have allowed their image to be licensed, and I actually purchased the license for this image. And it's just a simple headshot. She has no makeup on or anything, plain white background, plain clothes, which is a perfect base on top of which to try adding a scene and design. So let's say I want to, I think I have a, yes. So we'll use the morning routine vanity. So this is gonna probably be a scene of like a bathroom mirror with a product and other things. Now in this case, it's not actually a product, but I still wanna try. This is a model, a person. I'm gonna have to adapt this to work with fashion and people, but to date, I've mostly focused on e-commerce products, but increasingly people want to see what like the makeup would look like on them, and AI can actually do that. Or they want to see what the clothes will look like on them, right? So I'm going to jump back real quick. I'm going to go ahead and create that. Sorry about that. So here we go. Did I set the scene? Let me make sure I set the scene. So we're going to be in the morning routine, and we have the image, and we'll see if it works. Let's try. And then we just generate. So this should work. And we're actually asking the model to, in this case, the AI model, to take this image of the person and put fashion on them and put makeup on them. And we want to see if the generated output, if it matches the original photo. So it should be recognizable. We should be able to tell that the new photo that's generated with the clothes and the makeup on is actually based on the original reference image of the model without the makeup and without any of the the fancy fashion and stuff. So let's just try that. This is an area that I haven't quite tested too much, but I think it has great potential. Most of the scene templates that I've built so far have been focused on e-commerce, because one of the challenges is when you're building out an e-commerce store is, well, you need galleries for all your products. And sometimes having images, high quality images, it's hard to do. If you have 10,000 products or 100,000 products, that's a lot of photo shoots that you have to coordinate. And then if you want to like do a different scene or things, then that has lots of costs and logistics. But here's the output, and it looks a little funny. I have to construct the prompt in the scene template a little bit better, but I think it's still recognizably the same person. Let's double check. I should have. So that's the original person, and here's the version with the makeup on. I'll just flip back and forth. I think it did actually a really good job. So that looks like success. Okay, so that is the overview of the ShopBirdy design tool. Remember that you can also generate your slides if you want to build business presentations. If you want to build social media content, you can use this tool to do that. If you want to have a way for customers to try on your clothes, if you sell clothes like an online fashion store, or try on the makeup, you can have them upload an image and then select the different products that they want, and then you can actually show what that would look like all together, either them made up or with the different fashion items on and so forth. And if you're an e-commerce seller, you can create tons of images for your online store, and those images are going to resonate with people so that they're more likely to click. Again, you want to use some of the techniques that the big sort of consumer packaged goods companies and brand managers understand, which is how do we communicate as much information as possible in an image that we can basically show around the whole world, right? Because these are global companies, and Coca-Cola is basically the same Coca-Cola in every country, right? So they need to have some consistency with their brand, and using the ShopBirdy tools, we can have tremendous consistency. You can design custom scenes, but we also provide you a bunch of different templates. And then you can also design the scene on the fly. So really, this is becoming almost like Cursor or Windsurf, but for your design. And beyond just editing the images within, like, for example, that you might do in like a Photoshop, what we want to do is give you powerful tools so that you don't need to use different apps. You can even just plug in directly into our MCP server. So you get all of these tools, the ability to create these amazing scenes with great consistency, the ability to edit images and so forth. You get that all directly in the MCP, as I showed earlier. So that is really awesome. I'm excited to make this available. The MCP server should be live in a matter of days. I've just been testing it locally. Works great. I have to figure out how to get this listed on the MCP server directory. Hopefully Microsoft can help with that. That would be awesome. Or any of the other companies, Google, whoever, if they would like to feature the ShopBirdy MCP server, that would be awesome. Same thing with OpenAI, because we use the OpenAI GPT Image 1 model, which I think is amongst the best right now. It's really, really good. And you do need to go through you have to meet some of OpenAI's requirements to even get access to this API. So, it's kind of tough if you're a new developer starting a new account, because you need to have established a billing cycle with them over a period of time. You'll have to have spent at least a certain amount of money with them. And to get access to this model, they do require a KYC. So you would need to actually scan your face, upload a picture of your passport, and prove that you're a real person. Because these models are really, really cool and also quite expensive. So maybe we'll do one more. I'll take this one since I have it handy. This is a bottle of wine, and I'm gonna ask it can you use your tools to upload this image and place this photo of a wine bottle into a scene. I won't even describe the brand, just to keep it simple. And then we'll allow the MCP server to connect to the ShopBirdy, use all those tools, and build or generate an image for you. This is really helpful because you can programmatically generate all these images directly from your integrated developer environment. So if you have a directory of images on your computer, you can just reference them in the Copilot and iterate through all of them. So let's say you want to give this, you have 100 images, and you want the ShopBirdy MCP server to go through each of those images and create 10 different versions. So you want to go from 100 to 1,000. You can do that with this tool. Now, you might not be able to do that all in one shot, but the context window for these AI models is expanding, and it has sort of chain of thought thinking and reasoning. So over time, it will eventually be able to do that for you pretty seamlessly. And that just opens up a whole range of possibilities, because images are one of those things where you can pretty clearly test what's clicking with people, right, based on impressions and click-through rates, and ultimately those are sort of the top of the funnel towards sales and actually revenue. So to the extent that you want to drive more sales, what can you do to increase conversion? Well, one way to increase conversion and click-through rates from your product catalog all the way through to your shopping cart and then to the checkout is to have a bunch of great images. And now you have no constraint. There's no more bottleneck in terms of creating these images. So over time, you'll be able to have an intelligent catalog that would automatically be able to refresh all the images and just pick and display which images at the right time of day based on where the user is browsing from, or what their purchase history has been like. And you can do all of that programmatically. So then effectively, you can create a For You page for every one of your users or shoppers, right? Just like TikTok has a For You page, with videos that are recommended for you based on your browsing history and so forth. Or you could have, like, Facebook has a newsfeed that is different. Your newsfeed is different from my newsfeed, for example, right? Because you have different subscribers and your different sources, and you have a different custom ranking algorithm. This essentially allows you to have that same power in your online store, right? So whether you're hosting your own online store or you want to build an online store, having this MCP server now gives you the power and the flexibility to try lots of different images to see what will people click on, what is going to drive more sales. And that will clearly illustrate the ROI for doing this kind of thing. So ShopBirdy here is working in the background for you. You're giving it just a simple prompt, and it's doing the rest. It's reasoning, it's trying to figure out, it's handling the image upload for you, it's picking the different scenes, it's placing the object in those scenes, right? It's trying to match what's a good scene for this product. And it's doing that because it's working essentially together with your agent. In this case, I'm using Claude. I could easily use GPT, and it says it's done. Now, the thing is, you can't get a preview of the image here in the Visual Studio, because I would need to create a custom version of Visual Studio. They did open source it, so that is possible. So effectively, I think it would eventually happen. But then we can just navigate to the folder where that item is placed. And here it is. That looks really good. I mean, the details is pretty consistently. It's got the signature almost perfectly, the logo and the text on the label. Here it placed it in sort of a wine cellar, which is a natural fit for a wine bottle. And here it placed it on a dinner table surrounded by wine glasses. I mean, the amount of research that a developer or designer would have to do just trying to get inspiration and trying to find the stock photos, I mean, this would take like a day or days of work, and just in a few minutes, it did it all for you, which is incredibly powerful. So I'm super excited about the potential, especially for content creators and online sellers, people who sell products online shops, online stores, and really just about anyone, because these days, like, content is the name of the game. And to the extent you can create super cool content, you can create your own custom brand, your own mascots, and then if you're trying to make a sale, if you have great visuals and you can tell a great story, that goes a long way for you to be able to actually make that sale and generate the revenue. So I hope that this was illustrative and that you found it exciting, and you will come and try ShopBirdy.ai. All right, thanks again. Bye-bye.